Okay, so let's go over a trade example from RTY this morning. It was just a perfect A plus trade, and I want to cover it really quick. So it's August 28th. First thing I want to mention is, as always, I am watching multiple things in one sector. So for example, if I'm in indices, I'm watching ES and RTY next to each other to see if I can find one that's lagging. So usually RTY is lagging ES, meaning you can usually use ES to predict RTY direction if ES is moving, upwards and RTY is kind of consolidating. That's what I mean. But today I did notice that RTY broke away and started to lead ES. RTY had a nice strong open. ES was really choppy. So that's when I saw some strength start to move into RTY and why I started to look to go long. So RTY, for this trade this morning, this is what I posted. We're also going to cover some candlestick lessons in here as well that are really important. So make sure you watch this all the way through. Trade alerts, let me bring this over. This is what I posted, basically just looking for us to come back down to 2202 fib, form support here, then move to target 1, target 2. If you're ever like, where are you targeting? Look at my arrows. My arrows are going to be really, really important. Where they end is not a coincidence. Now, obviously, it's a ballpark a lot of times and where they're ending, but you can generally get the idea. Obviously, the arrow ends here, target 1. Arrow ends here, target 2. Now, how can you interpret this as price action is developing? And as always, let me make sure I'm recording. Okay, we're good. As price action is developing, you need to pay attention to how the candles are reacting when we reach each level of interest. So, for example, the first part of this is if we hold higher support over 2202. Now, 2202 is a larger fib, okay? These right here are fibs of their own, and then you can see highlighted in blue. And then 2202 is a larger fib. So we need to go all the way out to the 180-day 4-hour to see where I got this. There is an uptrend. You can also go to 20-day 1-hour, but generally speaking, there is this uptrend. It started to move sharper here. I'm not going to draw that line, but the last big jump from this low to this high is where I got that fib. If you zoom into the 20-day 1-hour, you can see that currently we are in the range of this last big jump. So you need to have fibs on this low to this high. If you do that, that is where we get, if you just click, that is where we get 2190.80 and 2202. So you can see, I'm going to remove these really quick. You see how last time we visited 2202, what did we do? We candle body closed over, which is really important. So that's why I know there are buyers sitting near this fib. So what did I do today? I looked for buyers sitting near that fib. Going back to the 5-minute here, zooming in, we saw some really nice buyers. How do I know that? Long wicks down here and a very nice big move up. What am I not going to do? I'm not going to chase this big move up. Why? Because my risk versus reward is too skewed. Instead, what I'm going to do is wait for a higher low to form. Now, that forms this little micro uptrend here. You've got this uptrend. The uptrend broke. We pulled back, and now I want to see higher support hold near that 50% to 61.8% micro range. What did we do? Not only, this is why it's an A+ trade, not only did we hold over 2202, we also only wicked in this micro range. This was just an A+ setup all around. And then to top it off, we're also right at 10 a.m., which is usually when direction starts to form for the first 30 minutes of the day. What did we do? We have now trended up right up into 1020, and we're starting to cool off into that first 30 minutes, which as we approach 1030. So overall, A+ trade. As far as my entries and how that is looking, my entries and exits, sorry, I'm also trying to manage a runner as I'm making this. Okay, I did get stopped out of my runner. I just wanted to double check that my brackets were in fact set. My runner was just trailing this new trend line. Okay, so let's delete that. Now let's look at where I entered, where my risk was, and when I scaled in, all that good stuff. So I did scalp this, meaning I was in and out size a little bit more frequently than just my normal, because candles are really large. I just wanted to make sure I was locking in size when I, saw that green. So once we pulled back and I saw this wick start to form. So on this candle, I went ahead and added a starter, okay? And my risk was the bottom fib at 220140 of this move up. So I mentioned that in chat. That's why you need to be paying attention to chat and what I'm saying. So I took a starter just before this candle had even closed based off of us wicking and pushing up. Then I was using 220140 as my risk. So you've got risk in pink, my starter in green. So I'm going to change that just so you guys can visually see that. Okay, now where am I looking to scale in? Well, I'm looking to scale in when I see confirmation. What is confirmation? Confirmation is waiting for a 5-minute candle to print. This 5-minute candle printed, and we for sure held over all these levels that I wanted to. So now as long as we open over these levels on this next candle, I'm going to look to scale in. Starter 1, and then I added 3, so my average was closer to 2203. Starter, sized in. Risk. When I size in, my risk is no longer going to be my original risk. My risk is now going to be closer to this 2202 fib, okay? Moving that up here. Sized in, my average is right about here. My risk is now here. Now we've got new strong momentum forming. When did I exit my size? Well, I went ahead and exited my size near here because I wanted to see if this candle, we had such a strong move up, guys, to recent resistance. This is such a strong move up, it's only natural that we see some pullback so higher support can form. So I went ahead and exited my size right here near this red arrow. Now, once I exited my size, I did leave a runner, but I was looking to add on more size. What do we need to see happen now? I'm going to give you guys a second. We've got a new level at 2206 area. What do we need to see happen? Okay, what we need to see happen is candle body close over. We did that on this candle. Now what do we need to see happen? We need to see the next candle open over. Candle body close over, candle open over for continuation up, right? Okay, so now I'm looking to add back size. Once this candle printed and this one started to open over, I added back my size. So we're going to move the size button up here, but my risk level now is definitely not down here, right? That makes absolutely no sense. My risk level is now the low of that candle. I hope that makes sense. But since I'm fully sized in, I'm actually wanting to have a closer risk level, so I'd prefer 2206 held. So this is a more comfy risk for size. If I was just adding a starter or holding my starter stop would have been this candle, because now we've got new higher lows forming on these candles, right? So we pushed up and we were failing on this candle to break 2210. So I just went ahead and exited size once again from a nice scalp up back up here. These are great base hits, guys, but one thing I want to highlight is scalping is you are paying attention to how candles are reacting when your levels are hit. I don't use the 1 minute. The lowest I'll go is a 3 minute. So if we just zoom into a 3 minute here, you can see that we have a little bit more data to work with. I don't like the 1 minute, it's too much noise, but the 3 minute I will go to and use 5 minute and 3 minute. Just to give me a little bit more information. So you can see how we were still candle body closing over this key level. We've come back. We just once again found buyers, and look what we're doing, skyrocketing to my next target of 2212. Okay, that was pretty much the trade for today. Very simple, very A plus, because we had multiple levels working together, multiple strategies working together. And when I say that, what I mean is we had this fib producing a higher support level at micro range, and then we had a larger fib there at the same time. This was overall a tremendously nice, amazing trade. Let's say we're going to go ahead and draw from here to here. Is that a coincidence? I'm going to give you a second. Is that a coincidence that higher support has now formed in this micro range that's on a smaller time frame from another pullback? No. Trends are formed from these fibs, guys. Trends are not random. Trends are formed from fibs. And I've always believed that. I don't know if I've ever said that clear enough for you guys, but I want to just make that very clear. Is I am a 100% believer that trends are formed from fibs. So for example, we had a move up. Our pullback now needs to hold 50% or 61.8% of that move up. We have a second move up. Now it needs to hold this pullback and create higher support at the 50 to 61% level. What do we do? Not once, but twice, and now we're continuing up to the next target. Okay, that's a wrap for today. I hope this was helpful as always, and I'll see you guys next time.